All right, hello everyone. Sorry for the little bit longer of a delay with the stream start. My cat is having issues, so whatever. What are you gonna do? Anyway, yeah, so before I get into what we're gonna be working on today, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for purchase. So if you want to support my work, you can check out the Steam page that is linked in the description below. Very positive ratings, 50 reviews. It's $8.99, and you can also get it for a discount if you purchase it as part of a bundle. Also, I've got my Udemy courses. This one is the Create a Complete 2D Survivor Style Game in Godot 4 with a 4.8 star rating, 4.8 star out of 5 with 3,000 ratings and 18,000 students. This is a great way to get kickstarted on your Godot learning journey. It's also a great way to support me, so check that out. That's linked in the description below as well. Also, there's a new FAQ page that I added. It's pinned in the chat right now, so if you go to that, it's just a very simple page, but I'll be directing people to this for the commonly or frequently asked questions, and I'll add to it if there are any more frequently asked questions here. Anyway, that's all the updates for now. What am I going to be doing on the stream here? I want to continue work on the visuals, and I've got this anvil that I've made. This is what I'm going to be using for the card upgrade. So in the same way that we did the alchemy system, the alchemy container here, I'm basically going to create a similar screen for the anvil, and that's going to be used for card upgrading. So this is going to be upgrading the tiers of your cards, and so on and so forth. I just had an interesting idea. Okay, never mind. We're not going to worry about that just yet. Are you okay, buddy? This is the one who's having problems. Okay, don't do that. You're worrying me, cats. It's fine. We'll fix you. We'll fix you. Just asking because I didn't watch the course yet. Did you find a novel solution for swarms of enemies colliding or something off the shelf? In the survivors course, no. I did. It's a very kind of like naive approach. I think it's just using the kinematic body collisions, if I'm not mistaken. But I honestly don't remember. But yeah, I think if you wanted to have. I should look into that. If I ever re-record that course, I might do an advanced section that's like, okay, now here's how you can rewrite this to support hundreds of enemies that don't overlap. Although I'm not actually sure that that's necessary, because with the survivors-like games, it looks like there's hundreds of enemies on the screen, but what's really happening is the enemies are just wrapping. So when an enemy goes off screen, it just gets placed basically in your path. So it can feel like there's hundreds of enemies, but really there's only like 50 or something on the screen. So anyway. Okay, cat, okay. So my thought here with the, this anvil is, firstly, I need to make the text for it, which I actually don't know. Maybe I need to mock this up a little bit. So the way that the upgrading works is you have to put two cards. You have to put two cards with the same base type together. You have to put two cards of the same base type together, and one card gets destroyed and the other card gets upgraded. And the reason it works that way is because I want to enable, like, if you've alchemized a card, let's say you've got a skeleton that's been alchemized and it has a bunch of extra abilities on it. I still want the player to be able to take just a raw skeleton card that has nothing on it and use that to upgrade the alchemized version. But the problem is that one of the cards has to be destroyed. So there's a couple of ways to do this. One way to do it would be to just put both cards on the same grid like you do with the alchemy, and then just output a choice where you get two versions. Each one is upgraded, and then the player can choose the one that they want. Or you can make that choice up front and put, like the way I have it currently, is you've got one grid that's like, here's the card to upgrade, and then here's the card to destroy. So you have control over which one gets upgraded and which one gets destroyed. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think taking the alchemy approach might be better, where I've got just a singular grid here. You put 2 cards of the same type into the grid, and then the output will be both of those cards individually upgraded, and then you can only choose one of them. So you still have to make the correct choice, but I think that's going to be less prone to error. It's just that the player is going to have to make sure to grab the one with all the alchemized stuff on it. So I could see there being potential for error there too. What I really need is a way to communicate to the player, like, you can only choose one. Let's start with that approach first, maybe, and then... because it's more consistent with the alchemy, and I think a consistency is going to be key here. I think all the grids should work in the same way. Instead of presenting different ways of interacting with the grids, I think that, yeah, making it consistent is probably better. But yeah, I'm going to need to communicate to the player that, yeah, they got to choose the one that they want, because they could be different. Good morning, J-Dubs. Welcome back. That's cool. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Oh, yeah, I don't think I would finish that explanation. Anyway, I think if you're going to do hundreds of enemies in sort of a better way in a Survivor's course, I think what you'd have to do is hook into the rendering and physics servers for Godot. So you'd have to do something similar to like what a true bullet hell would be, which is that all of the bullets in like a bullet hell that has hundreds of bullets on screen. If you do that in Godot, you basically have to use the rendering and physics servers to write your own like loops for hundreds of bullets. It's much more performant that way. And there's actually a good blog post that covers how to do that. But I think you'd have to use a modified version of that for if you wanted to do hundreds of enemies in a Vampire Survivors like. I wonder how Halls of Torment does that. I think Halls of Torment or Brotato. No, Brotato is probably more like Gunforge, where each enemy is like is an actual like entity, is actually a node in the scene. But I think Halls of Torment, I wonder if they're doing the rendering server stuff. Because it seems to like the monster density in Halls of Torment is much higher. So I don't know. I finished the Survivor's course during Easter. Highly recommend it. Awesome. Thank you, Robert. Very much appreciate that. Glad you liked it. Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back. I've seen an article about massive collections of colliders, but in user space. Oh, what does that mean? In user space? Yeah, if you can find, I don't know if you'll be able to link anything, but I need like an alternate chat system where people can send me links that only I can see. So if I want to open them, I can do that. Anyway. I wonder if I could, can I like... I wonder if I could like whitelist individual people in the chat to give them permissions to post links. I don't think YouTube is that sophisticated though. Oh, I forgot to refill my coffee. Shoot. Okay. Well, we'll do this for a little bit before I refill my coffee here. So what I need here is I need what? I need to insert some text. Text. Upgrade with 2 Ds. Anyone get that reference? Upgrade with 2 Ds. Okay, Kat. I know. You're not feeling well. I know. So we'll do this text. Forgot if I do that or not. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I can just kind of haphazardly do this. Doesn't need to be perfect. Okay. That A is kind of weird. Maybe I'll just, well, how do I want to do that? That's fine, I suppose. Yeah, okay, so there's the text, and then we need to outline this as well. Okay. So that's generally how it will look. I've got this little hammer here that I will also probably animate to some extent. I don't know exactly what the animation is going to look like, but I'm also going to need the highlight here as well. So let's do this. Duplicate, anvil, outline, or do I call it highlight? I don't remember. Highlight. Okay, and I'm going to take these. How do I always forget how to select the pixels here. Make me select pixels, thank you. Okay, so we've got the anvil highlight now. We want to do the hammer highlight as well. Duplicate. And then Kerblam. Okay, and then I need to select the hammer pixels. Cool. All right, so that's basically it. So I can get rid of all the reference stuff. Excuse you, cat. What are you doing? Go lay down. All right, file, scripts, export layers, save sprite. User as in not modifying the engine or lower level scripting. Okay, actually it was a video. G, okay, so that's the, let's see. Oh wait, why is that not appearing? Can I copy this? Copy. I wonder if I can, youtube.com/v, how do I do it? Oh, watch. Tips and tricks for simple but smart AI. I will bookmark this. And I'll watch this later. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So exported 5 layers. So now this is the scene that we're going to be modifying here. Honestly, I might just duplicate this alchemy container because it's got all the stuff that I need already. Okay, I know, I know. There was a Reddit link I was trying to post. Yeah, I think YouTube just scrubs the links automatically. Yeah, sorry. I don't think I can do anything about that. I actually don't have the auto moderation. I think I turned it all the way down, so I don't know why it's not working, but that's okay. Card upgrade container. I wonder if I could just I might just, can I copy both of these and paste these in here? Oh, that does work. Very nice. Okay, we're going to be rewriting this whole thing, so I am just going to delete these things. Okay. And are there any well, visuals, yeah, visual position root, all of this stuff will go away. I'm going to add a reference rect here. (76 by 76). Just so I can see what that's doing. The board is okay. This might need to be bigger though. Oops. I'm probably going to need to make this at least 4 by 4. Hello. Hello, cat. Okay, anyway, it's going to look a little bit wonky in here, but... okay. So there's upgrade text. Board is good. Okay, we can set up the visuals now. Anvil. Gonna have to figure out what kind of animations and stuff I want to do here, but we will figure that out when the time comes. I want it to be centered around the middle part here. That's fine. How big is this? (92). Probably doesn't need to be that tall. This is 50 pixels. And this visuals position root here. What do I want to do with this? I guess there's no reason for the sprite to be all the way situated down there. I can just do this, I think. That'll work. I guess maybe I should offset this. Okay, well that's a little bit... it's a little bit wonky, I suppose. Maybe I will... well... yeah, maybe I will do this, and then I'll use this visuals position root. I'll move this into position. Okay, that seems better to me. Why is there a big gap here? Oh, do I have a big... oh, it looks bigger than it is because the board... right. This is going to be a bigger board. Okay, so I think that's probably fine. Let's duplicate this. We're going to do anvil outline or highlight. What do I call it? Outline, highlight, it doesn't matter. Okay, anvil highlight. There we go. All right, now we need to do the sprite 2D for the hammer. I have the hammer back here for now. Hammer highlight. Oh, did I not? Hold on a second. Just need to get a proper pivot point on this. Is that a proper pivot point? I think I want the pivot point closer to here, maybe? No, actually, that's probably fine. -8, -16. Okay. Cool. So let's lock these things. I guess we can just lock all this. Lock all of it. Okay, I don't need this reference rect anymore, so we'll get rid of that. Cool. So we got the board, visuals, visual position root, this control, this input container. Okay. Why do I have a control here? I don't think I need this control. I don't know. I don't know. I think you would have to create chat roles, but that's a whole thing. Oh, I see. Okay. Tiny URL ID. Oh, is that for the Reddit thread? How do I do this? Let me just send an email to myself. Okay. Okay. When using small, low-res pixel art, as in the Survivors course, which is 16 by 16, do you have any recommendations to make the game occupy more of the screen? For the Survivors course in my final project, I use the camera to zoom in a bit, but is there a better way to do it? I mean, you could just change the window dimensions if you want. If I recall correctly, I think in that course we set the viewport width and viewport height to 640 by 360. So if you want everything to be zoomed in, you could just make this smaller, these numbers smaller. If you want pixel perfect, they have to be powers of 2, so you'd have to divide this by 2. So it'd be 320 by 180. Or you can use the camera zoom like you want. But yeah, the way to control the screen size is basically the viewport width and viewport height, and then the aspect mode. If you have it on ignore, then it's not going to scale at all. So you probably want either keep width, or keep height. And then, yeah, you can, and then beyond that, you can either use the camera zoom, or you can change the viewport width and height itself to a smaller number. Hello, The Pulse. What's going on? Right now I'm working on my next commercial game, which is a collectible card game auto battler roguelike with an emphasis on crafting your own cards. It's necromancy / alchemy / medieval science themed as well. So right now what I'm doing is I'm working on one of the event types, which is a card upgrade. And basically you just put your cards in the grid here that you want to upgrade. You'll click on the anvil, it will do a fancy animation, and that will spit out the upgraded cards. I'll show you how the game actually plays in a little bit once we get some of this work done. I saw there, oh, by the way, who's interested, would you guys be interested in me pulling up the Oblivion remaster video, that's the live stream that's happening in approximately 40 minutes? Because I'm thinking that would be a fun thing to do, because I'm very curious to see what the Oblivion remaster announcement looks like. But if you guys aren't interested in that, then I will just skip that and watch it after the stream. I saw once you were playing, you've had a really cool animation when an item is healing your character. How did you do that? When an item is healing your character, so there's a couple of animations in place. You might be referring to this fade material, so this fades out to a color, but then I also have a fade highlight material, which does the opposite thing. So if I drag that over here, yeah, so there's a flash here. I don't know if this is what you're talking about, or if you're talking about the health globe specifically. But this is a shader that basically, depending on if I'm highlighting or fade out, it cycles through some of the colors in my palette based on this progress value. But yeah. Sounds good. 100% have that in a separate window. Okay, yeah, so I may lose track of time, so let me know if the time is approaching. But yeah, I think it'd be fun. I mean, I hope that the live video reveal is not like an hour long, because I'm not going to watch the whole thing on stream. But if it's only like a couple minutes, I think it would be fun to watch that together and then nerd out about it a little bit. I do hope that shadow drops today. I think that would be a fun thing to do. this afternoon. But anyway, we will see. So there's a lot of stuff that I need to change in the script here. And if you just give me 1 second, I'm going to go refill my coffee here because I forgot to do that before stream. And then we will rewrite the script to support this new scene structure here. So BRB real quick. Alrighty. I'm back. I've got my coffee here. So, I think the most effective way to rewrite this script is to just break it. Consume container. Yeah, we don't need this. So you got the board container here, board, right. So the first thing that I want to do is register the board. Board.set dimensions. Oh, board.board inventory component.set dimensions. Type or namespace board could not be found. What do you mean it couldn't be found? What do you mean it couldn't be found? It's right there. Vector 2i, we're going to do 6 by 6. So is upgrade board valid? So we've got a validate function in here. We need 2 cards. If not, is upgrade board valid? We'll just return upgrade card, get cards on board ordered by priority 0. Get cards on board. If cards 0 dot is upgradable with card. Cards 1. We'll have to do some things in here. On card placed. Let's just do on card placed here. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. On card transferred. So I might need something like a state machine or at least a Boolean. Okay, on button pressed. Increment here. Okay, yeah, so this is where I'm going to need to do all my animations and stuff. I think what I'll do is I'll just get this working first and then we'll work on the animations. So in here, on button pressed, yeah, we're just going to upgrade both cards actually. So is that going to be reflected immediately? On card transferred. Why does it not like this? Oh, I see. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. On button pressed. So this is going to be, yeah, on. So I need to listen to this input container here. Node private control input container. Input container dot GUI input plus equals on GUI input. Private void on GUI input input event EVT. If EVT dot is action pressed, game constants dot action click left. Let's do we might as well call validate in here. Let's do this. Private bool is valid. We don't need to call validate here. Is valid equals true, and we'll set is valid to false up here. And then on button pressed, yeah, so we'll do, I'm gonna call this handle press. Private bool has initialized upgrade. If not has initialized upgrade, validate. On card transferred, if has initialized upgrade, we're going to do emit signal upgrade finished. Else validate. If not is valid, we'll just return. Has initialized upgrade is equal to true. We're going to say board.can. Oh, do I not have a can drop cards anymore? What happened to that? Oh, disable card drop. Do I still have that working? Okay, no. Add placement lock. So we want to lock the board from having cards placed on it. So I'm going to actually call handle pressed in here. Has initialized upgrade equals true, board add placement lock. Then we're going to say our for each var card in board.board inventory component dot get cards on board card dot increment tier. I think that's basically all we need to do here. So if I did everything correctly, this should be relatively functional. So the one other thing I need to do is in my run manager, I need to, whenever there's an event, events, yeah, here. Event type.upgrade card. And I also need to make sure that I have 2 skeleton warriors. Var skeleton warrior 2. All right. Okay. Hello, Blair William. Just curious if you have any plans on another paid course that might be in the works. Yes, I am currently working on, I guess you could call it pre-production, on a online multiplayer course for Godot. So the way I'm thinking about it right now is it'll be a like 2D side scroller kind of thing. It'll be like a platformer side scroller where, you know, you have players and each player has guns and there will be enemies that spawn in and you basically jump around and shoot the enemies. It's not going to be anything super fancy, but I think that kind of game for online multiplayer is going to be great, because then I can make a lobby system and show students how to do that, show students how to synchronize the positions of players and enemies, show players how to, or yeah, show developers, I guess, how to synchronize like the animations and whatnot, handling the deaths conditions and all that stuff. And then having maybe some kind of minor upgrade system that is synchronized between the players as well. So Udemy seems kind of dry right now for Godot. Yeah, I think. The recent ones, yeah, the platformer course is pretty outdated. It's in Godot 3, and it was the first course I made, so I'm not going to say it's a bad course, but the quality is not the same as my 2 most recent courses. The quality of my video production has definitely gone up. So yeah, but the online multiplayer course I think is going to be great. The challenge is online multiplayer adds a lot more work, and so I think the game that we make in the course is going to be relatively simple, because most of the course is going to be spent focused on the multiplayer aspect of it. Looking into doing the grid-based puzzle game course next looks very fun. Yeah, it's great. I think it's a good dive into C# with Godot. I'm biased though. It's pretty fun. I follow along. My creative side lacks, so I never know what to start. Yeah. Cat curious who you're talking to. Yeah, my cat is not feeling well. He's sick. So he's, yeah, he can't keep any food down, so he's very hungry, but when I feed him, it's not good. So he's going to have to go without food for the next 8 to 12 hours before I try to reintroduce some food. Right, buddy? I'm sorry. I know you're hungry. I know. How are you? Do you have another job? If so, how do you manage it with game dev? Well, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, Nicholas, and welcome to the stream. I would encourage you to check out the FAQs that I have pinned in the chat. Actually, do I have an FAQ item for that? I don't think so. Maybe I'm leading you astray. I don't have another job right now. My current job, all my income is coming from sales of Gunforge and sales of my Udemy courses, as well as some like YouTube revenue. I was a software engineer for a while and doing game development in the evenings and the weekends, but yeah, long story short, the company that I was working for ran out of funding, which means I lost my job, and I decided, well, now's a good time to try the full-time indie games stuff, so that's what I'm doing. We'll see how it goes. I basically have until the end of the year to either make more money or get a new job, so we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. All right, let's see if this works. That's nice. Congratulations. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see. So we got this. I'm really excited about this game. I think this game has huge potential, which actually is making me nervous, because like it would be terrible to have a game with like huge potential and then not execute on it well. And that's like the worst feeling imaginable, knowing that you've got like a really solid, fun game idea and just not being able to execute on it. Like, oof, that would suck. But anyway, we're not going to think about that too much. And I have ways of, oh, that's not right. Is that right? Oh, maybe it is right. Oh, you know what? I think I need to make this 4x4. The tricky thing about this is if you want to upgrade 2 cards that are both 3x3, yeah, that's not going to be possible. I might have to think about that. But anyway, put these here, put these here. Actually, let's do this. Click, doesn't do anything. Go here, click, upgrade. So it upgraded the tiers, which also automatically reflected, which is nice. So now we've got 2 tier 2 skeletons. I can bring one over and that goes away. Okay, perfect. That is perfect. I'm just gonna reduce the grid size though and see if it looks nicer. Also, why did it bounce in? That's kind of curious. That's kind of curious. I don't like how it's bouncing in. Also, this seems off-center. I mean, it's centered when you look at it like there's an equal number of pixels on this side and this side, but it doesn't look visually centered. Like this, it feels like this should be centered with the board, this center part right here. So let me think about this. Yeah, I think I need to I almost think that I need to, yeah, I need to move this visuals root over. Oh, it looks centered to me now. That's the thing. One of my friends is a UX designer, and the weird thing about centering is that sometimes something can be mathematically centered and look off-center because the visual center of an item is kind of different than the mathematical center. Like, you can have something that's perfectly centered mathematically and people will be like, why is that misaligned? Why is it off-center? It's more about like the weight or like what we think the center should be, or like the center of gravity kind of deal. So even though this is not technically going to be centered now, I think it's going to look centered. Did that update in real time? Oh, it did. So wait, I could just do this then. I think I could just move this over. Yeah. I think that's fine. All right, let's try it again. I need a way of like updating the visuals in the editor here so I can actually see what it looks like. Oh well. Oh well. I don't like that. Upgrade card. Click this, boom, they get upgraded. Take one over and that goes away. Okay, that's working perfectly. So now we can work on the animations. So basic. We'll fix all those issues here in a second. Anyway, hope you have a lot of success. Thank you. Didn't realize I was so far behind on the live 15 minutes. Oh, wow. Do you have any thoughts about doing something like Patreon for some side content, beta testing, or other stuff? I am still thinking about stuff like that. I definitely want to get some play testers from this YouTube community here. Which means I'm going to open a Discord probably at some point, but I'm still debating whether I want to do like YouTube memberships or something, or if I just want to leave it open. I think it would kind of be nice to have like a $10 a month or whatever YouTube membership, and then just like give anyone who has that membership like a free copy of whatever commercial game I publish. I also was playing around with the idea, like, I wonder if, this is just me thinking out loud, so don't hold me to this, but I also thought if there was like a YouTube membership tier of some amount of money, and then I could give you access to like a members only playlist of my courses. So it's almost like a subscription where, you know, you could theoretically join as a member for $15 a month and get access to all the course content, and then just unsubscribe whenever you want, then you lose access to the course content. I wonder if that would be preferable to some people rather than Udemy. I don't know. Just stuff that I'm thinking about. Hello, Alamau. A little Cthulhu profile picture that's very cute. I'd love for you to make another Godot course that includes focus more on how you make your own game, going over how to best approach making new systems neatly and what's needed in order to ship on Steam. Yeah, I will try to include that in the new course that I'm working on. The problem with showing, like, I don't know if you mean this specifically, but the problem with showing how to do things on Steam is that a lot of Steam is covered by NDA. So you're not actually technically supposed to show things like in the Steam backend as a Steam partner. So that's why it's kind of tricky. Shaggy Dev has done some really cool architecture videos that I found really valuable. Would you ever consider a similar video? I don't know. I'll have to check him out and see. I do have a video on composition that a lot of people liked. But yeah. I went to find the answer to your reply to my question. Good to hear. Oh, yeah. How do you get your game to play to the playtesting? Do you pick a group of people yourself? How do you streamline the feedback? Do you have a certain methodology? I mean, honestly, this is something that I'm still figuring out. I think what I'll do is just open up the playtesting to anyone that's a member of the Discord, because that's not going to be the general public. It's going to be people that are following my work, and so that's already like a more tight grouping of people that's kind of like self-selected, you know? But then Yeah, in terms of feedback, that's a hard thing to deal with for a lot of reasons. Because some feedback that I get is like feedback that just completely changes the vision of the game. And it's like somebody saying, I want the game to be this. And then you're like, as a developer, you're like, but I don't want the game to be that. So that's hard. But then there are other pieces of feedback where people, they point out a problem, but their solution may not be what's right for the game. And so you kind of have to like tease out like, well, what are the problems that the users are actually having and how can I solve that in my own sort of paradigm? But like I said, it's something that I'm still trying to figure out too, like which feedback is actionable and which feedback should just be ignored. Like, because you can't do a design by committee, right? Like design by committee never works. You know, everyone has a different idea of what something should be, and it's really the person with the vision that has to ultimately decide, no, this feedback is not in accordance with the vision, or this person does have feedback that's in accordance with the vision. So I don't know. Yeah, so happy to see your project grew day by day. Thank you. Welcome back. My dog is sad because I prevented her from eating something and choking on it. Yeah, these animals, they treat us like we're torturing them, and it's like, I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you. You can't have any food because you'll just puke it up. We can't have that. You'll get dehydrated. That's bad. Anyway, n equals 1, but I have about 4 Patreon memberships. I haven't joined a YouTube channel as a member yet. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. A Patreon is a little bit more appealing too because it takes a lower cut as well. But the nice thing about the YouTube membership is that basically my entire audience is on YouTube, and so the membership is like right there. People don't have to go to an external service, you know? But, you know, what's the new course about? Hello, Daniel. It's going to be online multiplayer, online cooperative multiplayer. I love Udemy. Buying a course and having it for life is perfect for my lifestyle. Also didn't know about the Steam NDA thing. That's interesting. Yeah. You're welcome, Gorkum. Okay, so let's get the highlighting working here. Also, we've got 15 minutes until the Oblivion remaster reveal. So I'll probably bring that up on stream, and we'll see what's going on with that. Actually, I wonder if I should... Maybe I'll just get that prepared right now. Oops. That'll be a nice little distraction. What? I tried to open it in a new private window and it said it wants me to sign in to confirm my age. I'm of age, trust me, Google. 16 minutes. Oh, the live stream's already up. It's kind of a little countdown. Okay, so we'll pull that up on the stream. Is a new course going to be C# or GD script? It'll be in GD script, yeah. Neo is boring. It will be in GD script. Okay, so let's get these highlights working. Input container dot mouse entered. Input container dot mouse exited plus equals on mouse exited. We need these sprite 2Ds. Anvil highlight. Node private sprite 2D hammer highlight. Apologies if you can hear the garbage truck in the background. Give me autocomplete, thank you. Okay, I don't know if it's worth... Can I run this scene by itself? I think I should be able to. Oh, there's not going to be a board manager though, so maybe it won't work. No, it should. Okay, there we go. So highlighting is working. That's great. We're going to need an animation player. Can I copy these keyframes from here? I'm gonna try. Copy keys. We're gonna do anvil animation player. That edits what? The visuals. Oh, did I do the wrong thing? This needs to be 9. This needs to be 0. Nope. I did that wrong. There we go. Okay. Anvil animation player new. Error. Property track. Position. Paste keys. Nice. Okay. There's our error animation. Anvil animation player. Private static read only. String name anim error. If not is valid. Anvil animation player dot play. Anim error. Return. See if that works. Okay, probably want to add some other kind of error messaging as well, but that's all right for now. So now when it is valid, we need to have an animation like the hammer. Okay, so the hammer is going to be a little bit tricky. But yeah. Remember how to say my username? Yes, yeah. I did indeed. To what is more beneficial, C# or GDScript when working with Godot? I like C# personally. If you check out the FAQs that are pinned or linked in the description below, I have a little bit more on why I chose C#. But yeah, it's a personal preference, basically. I'm using on the idea of entering Godot Wild Jam 81 mid-May. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I got to get back into game jams. They're fun, but I just don't have time for them. I think I will participate in the GMTK game jam, though, which is happening in July, I think, this year. C# is totally your brand. More Godot peeps need to embrace C#. Yeah, the problem with doing C# for the courses is that it reaches a much wider audience, and C# is a little bit more niche for Godot. So the sales potential isn't as high. That's the problem. So yeah, game jams are great for that. Custom engine is better. Any engine for 2D ends up being pretentious. Well, that's an opinion. My engine is only 10K lines with physics, particle effects, animation, scripting. Plus it uses SDL renderer, so very portable. Yeah, the problem I have with making my own engine is a problem of constraints, really. I don't have a way of adequately controlling myself when I say, oh, I could add this feature to my engine to enable what I want to do. And then I get into like an endless loop of like, well, I just keep adding features to the engine rather than working with what I have. And like every problem that I have, I'm immediately going to look to the engine and see, is there something I can change in the engine to do it? Where it's like, it kind of takes away the focus on the game development part of it. Also, I have this constant fear, like, am I architecting things right? Is there a hidden bug somewhere in my engine? Like, that's just a lot of stuff that I don't want to think about. So adopting a constraint of like using a ready-made engine allows me to focus more on like actually building the game with the constraints that are laid out. And I have the benefit of like the engines being maintained by hundreds of people who are all fixing bugs all the time. So I don't need to worry about any of that. So it takes a lot of the mental load off of me, and I can just focus on the game development part. That's one of the main reasons that I prefer to use an engine. Okay, so let's see. Anvil highlight. So we need to animate the hammer, but we've got the Oblivion remaster thing coming up soon. So maybe I'll just start with a hammer animation and we'll see what's going on here. But yeah, I definitely want to get this going. Let's see. Okay. New swing. We'll call it swing. I think I'll just animate this hammer here. So let's keyframe that. 0.05. Let's turn on record. Oops, let's turn on record. Bring this up. Oops, I did it wrong. Bring this up. We're going to want to rotate it as well. So bring it up here. Oops. Okay. Okay, keyframe the rotation. I probably want this to be over a little bit, actually. And then we'll bring it down. So I'm going to rotate this again like this. Bring it down here. This is going to need to be in front of the anvil. So I got to figure out how to change that. Maybe I can just animate the Z index temporarily. I think that would probably be okay. So bring it up here. So let's take the Z index, keyframe that, bring it up here, keyframe it to 1. And now it's in front. So it doesn't look great right now, but I'm going to add, I'm just going to get the keyframes in place, and then I will worry about how to make it look decent. Oops. Why did that not work? Okay, so basic keyframes in place, and I'll have to play with the pacing and everything. But we've got the Oblivion remaster coming up soon, so let me switch gears. I'm gonna have to change this over. 1 second here. Let's do this. Mute that, and then let's see. Okay, so we've got the Oblivion stuff up, desktop audio quiet. Let's see. Filters, turn up the gain a little bit so you can hear the video more. Let me know if the Oblivion stream video is loud enough. Azir, come on. There's no chat here, so we'll just full screen it. 5 minutes. All right. Taking feedback at face value never goes well. I feel like most people are good at identifying when something feels wrong, but they're not always great at diagnosing why. But that's the dev life. Yeah, I think that's a good, yeah, that's exactly right. And it's true of anything, really, you know. I think, you know, the cliche example is if you had gone to random people on the street before the iPhone was invented and pitched them the idea of the iPhone, would they have said, ooh, yeah, I need that? Or would they have been like, nah, that doesn't sound like a good idea? And yet the iPhone ended up changing the entire world, basically. So it's kind of like, that's what I mean. Like, usually these kind of creative pursuits need to be driven by somebody with a vision rather than like a design by committee poll testing. You know, that's not how people work, really. Godot is goated, especially for 2D. Yeah, I agree, Wet Penguin. Also, welcome to the stream, Wet Penguin and Forgotten. What's good, everyone? Hello, Detriel. Or DTREL. Do you guys use different engines for certain games or stick to one engine? I mean, I just use Godot, but I only make 2D games and rather simple. 2D games as well. If I was going to make a serious 3D game, I'd probably use either Unity or Unreal. Are you going to stream Oblivion announcement? Yes, yes indeed. Is the announcement stream loud enough? I mean, the music's kind of quiet here, but Godot is amazing for 2D. I wouldn't use it for 2D, though. It's easy to make 2D engine once you get the hang of it. With tiled A-Sprite, you already have everything. My engine uses modified JSON for GUI. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, 2D engine probably is the easiest engine to write. It's probably true. What cases would you use a different engine, and what benefits of doing that? Yeah, I mean, I think the reason to use Unity or Unreal over Godot for 3D is just because they're more mature 3D engines, and there's a lot more assets readily available for them as well. So, you know, Godot 3D is still relatively lacking, so that's the problem. Say what you want about dictators, but they get... yeah, they do. Just goes back to someone with a vision. True. They get things done for good or for bad. All right, 2.5 minutes. Let's see, what else can I ramble about while this is going? I hope this isn't like an hour-long reveal. That would suck. I know you're hungry, buddy. I know. So, yeah, with the, so after this, we'll work on the anvil some more. I'm going to probably do, like, a hammer animation. Well, I am doing a hammer animation, but I mean, like, I want it to smack and, like, have sparks come out of it. And then we'll need to figure out, like, an animation for the cards, because I think I want the cards to, like, come off of the board and go into the anvil or onto the anvil in some way. I don't know how to make that look good, though. I was thinking about maybe doing, like, if I could figure out how to do, like, a morph shader where I can take those two things, morph them together, and then morph that into a different sprite that's like an ore or something, iron ore or something, and have that smack and get shattered with a bunch of sparks and stuff, and then the new cards fly out of it. I think that would be really cool. But I don't know how realistic, like, a morph shader is, really. I'm making a 3D game in Godot. It has its issues, but it's getting better. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the complexity of the 3D game. I'm sure you could get away with doing, like, a low-poly 3D game. I mean, you could look at Road to Vostok, too. I don't know what that developer is doing, but Road to Vostok is actually a very, very good 3D game in Godot. But I'm just sitting here imagining, like, all of the hacks and workarounds and stuff that he had to do to get things to render the way he wanted it, so... You ever made a Godot extension? I'm thinking I'm going to have to dive into it. Right now, Godot doesn't seem to support app protocol links. Clicking a URL, it opens in your app instead of a browser. Oh, interesting. I've never done an extension, but I think they were going to add support for like C# extensions, or they already have that or something, but if the extension API becomes more well-documented and maybe more robust, there's all kinds of extensions that I could think about adding. Is this Bethesda official? This is indeed, yes. Where do you get your game lore? I don't have game lore. I just kind of make it up, I guess. I don't think about the lore that much. I'm not really, when I play games, I don't pay attention to the story, like, ever. Like, I can barely tell you what happens in Baldur's Gate 3, and that's one of my favorite games. Okay, it's starting. Good evening, Camillo. Okay. I'll get to the rest of the chat after this. Here we go. I'll be quiet now.
The others, they were taken to the tower. They're behind us. This ends here.
You hold our future in your hands. Take with you my blessings and the hope of the Empire. Find him and close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
Available now?
Here we are 20 years later.
I turned it up for you guys, sorry.
When you think about the Elder Scrolls, to us it goes beyond game franchise.
Yeah, it's the DNA of Bethesda Game Studios.
Obviously, we're working on the 6th chapter here, but what's great about the Elder Scrolls is being able to look back at all of the chapters, Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, Daggerfall, Arena, and each of them try to define role-playing games and open-world games for their generation.
Fans got so connected with the worlds we've made and these stories we're telling, and it's really amazing.
Oblivion was a real defining moment in the series and for how we make games as a studio. I think when it comes to a remaster, we want people to feel the way they did then, but it's still a game of its time. You want to keep those bones in place. You want some of that old charm.
Coming back to Oblivion now with this tremendous visual update is absolutely amazing. It's the world I remember, but better.
There's so much there, both for the Elder Scrolls world and also this evolution of our games, I think is really, really important for people to take a look back at.
Looking back and seeing everything we've accomplished in the past 20 years and working with these people, like, it's really special.
Yeah, there are still quite a few people that I've worked with for that long, and it sort of gave me the warm fuzzies.
Okay, we get it.
Oh my God.
When's it
in
releasing?
20 years? I think the thing that gets me the most is the music. Like when you hear that music at the main menu, there's just like...
Oblivion main menu.
There's this like flood of nostalgia.
Oblivion is the beginning of who I am. As an individual, as a game developer, it all starts with it.
I saw the Oblivion main menu many times because I tried to make Oblivion mods when I was a little teenager.
How big this was. People loved it. Like, they loved it.
Such a key moment in our history of making games and the evolution of how we build these worlds, and having players be able to come back and experience that is really amazing. We had that really special moment of coming out into the world for the first time. What that meant
it's special.
to this game.
People love it. We get it.
Every time we think
When's
about
it releasing?
Oblivion, it's, what if we could give that moment to everybody
Yeah,
again?
give us the moment.
I was born 87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see.
Nice. That does look good, though.
Whether you're reliving these moments or experiencing them for the first time, the world of Oblivion Remastered
Tom
immediately
Mustaine related
looks
to Dave?
and feels incredible. When we decided to remaster Oblivion, we were really picky about finding the right partner. From the very beginning of this project, we had one rule. We weren't going to do this if we weren't going to be able to do it right. Our partners at Virtuous went above and beyond to bring our vision to life. The care and love they've poured into the Oblivion Remaster.
Okay, how many times we get it? Like, come on. We know that you did care and love. We know that it's a special moment. We know that people love the game.
Our team here has
we
been
also know
hard
that
at
people
work
want the
delivering
release
the best remastered Oblivion experience possible. We've worked with Bethesda Game Studios on other projects in the past, so we know what makes that team and their games special.
Yeah, you know how to make games. I know. I know. This is just filler. What are you doing?
We wanted to make the remaster more friendly to gamers with modern hardware. This is Oblivion in its most complete form.
I'm just laughing at the chat.
About time someone got here. Huzzah!
Milking the moment, yeah.
Those
It
familiar
does
with
look really
only
good.
some Elder Scrolls lore will now be able to experience the events that set the stage for Skyrim.
How many times are you going to say we're
You
going to
embark
experience
on
the
an
events
epic
again?
journey to stop
That's like the
mythic
fourth
dawn
time you
cult.
said that.
Time of cleansing draws
This
nigh.
From
ChatGPT
unleashing the Daedric Prince of
presentation.
Destruction.
What was the Oblivion Crisis? What happened to the previous Emperor of Cyrodiil? Why are there only 8 divines instead of 9?
Because Talos is outlawed.
In addition to the core game, the remaster contains all add-ons, including story expansions, Shivering Isles, and Knights of the Nine, so you get the full experience.
On a personal
getting
level,
Shivering Isles,
it was
that's
really
great.
important to me to ensure that we're preserving the magic of the original experience. At the end of the day, we're all fans too.
This is a dream project for me, right? I'm a fan. I have been always a fan.
Well, I played Oblivion for perhaps 10,000 hours.
Oblivion was my first Elder Scrolls game, and it was one of the games that made me want to be a game developer.
The best way to describe it would be to call it a love letter.
Love letter. Is there a such
You
thing
will
as
find your own path.
a release announcement
But
that
there
doesn't
will be
include love
blood
letter if
and
it's
death
related to
before
something
the end.
previously? A lot of love letters flying around in the game industry. Does anyone remember the chameleon hack or exploit you could do with these sigil stones?
The technology we used to create the original was cutting edge at the time, but tools have come a long way since then.
The original Oblivion is still the heart and soul of the remaster, but we use Unreal Engine 5 to help achieve all our visual goals. We think of the Oblivion game engine as the brain and Unreal 5 as the body. The brain drives all the world logic and gameplay, and the body brings to life the experience that players have loved for almost 20 years.
But it's not just about pure fidelity. We knew we had to preserve the distinct style.
This is going to be an hour-long presentation, isn't it?
As possible.
The brush opens a portal into the painting. You're stuck
My
here
theory is
like
that they're using this to
The
migrate
Isles,
away
a wonderful place
for future games.
But for a visit, or eternity.
We've leveraged nearly every major feature from the latest version of Unreal 5.
Our goal was to push the visuals to the next level using the latest technologies. We created brand new, highly detailed character models and stunning landscapes that use millions of polygons in each asset, allowing us a truly impressive level of detail in the world. Every single asset in this game was completely redesigned and handcrafted from scratch. We implemented an advanced real-time lighting system that accurately simulates how light interacts with the environment. This results in more realistic lighting and atmospheric effects. While the original game had limited dynamic shadows, now the entire world reacts naturally to light.
Ooh, that does look good.
We used an incredible new lip sync technology that really enhanced performance in our characters.
He left us a
I have work to do, Bethesda.
Heed it!
And Real Tools helped us create the base mesh of our characters. From there, our artists sculpt each race individually to adapt it to the mesh, allowing us to share the model, rig, and textures. As a result, all races, including Argonians, Orcs, and Khajiits, are built on the same base mesh, making the lip sync system more effective even when the characters have very different facial features.
Welcome to the guild.
Why does lip sync
We
still
have
look
access
so
to
bad in
many
basically
modern
every video
rendered
game?
features. You'll see them in something as
Is
simple
that like
as running through a
impressively
forest,
hard technology
insects
to get
flying
right or
around,
something?
Fish swimming in the water, light filtering through the leaves. Thanks to these technological advances, you feel even more immersed in this living, breathing world. You'll really believe you're in Cyrodiil.
I believe you can handle a more complicated assignment.
It's the spirit of Oblivion.
To retrieve a carved panel from the central chamber of
Same
the
stuff
High
in better
Vale.
GFX, yeah. I think they did make combat changes, but they haven't mentioned that yet, I don't think.
It's not just visuals that we've modernized in the remaster, it's gameplay. It's UI and UX. It's audio.
Can't wait to go to the arena. That was one of the best
We've updated
things.
features and systems across the board.
We've changed the approach to leveling, which I think will make a lot of people happy. It's inspired by the leveling systems of both Oblivion and Skyrim, so it's the best of both worlds. We were able to fully recreate the character models, creating a physicality that feels more human. You see that in places like combat animations, where there's a lot more separation between the upper and lower body, and all the animations have more flourish.
That does look pretty good.
Combat in the original Oblivion didn't have sound effects, visual effects, or hit reactions. Now you'll get blood splatters, sparks, and controller feedback. You know, it's a little thing, but little things add up to make the combat more modern and engaging.
The chat is saying it's out on Steam already. Ooh, big if true, big if true.
The original had third person, but there was no crosshair and we thought the experience could be modernized. One of our goals was to have a third-person view that compared to Starfield in terms of playability. Now, the third-person perspective has all the same control you get from the first-person view.
You have my ear, citizen.
When Oblivion
Combat
first
looks
launched,
questionable. Yeah, it looks kind of like a AA game.
How are you?
Disk storage limits meant we couldn't have unique voiceovers.
Honestly,
for all
anything
the
is better
races.
than the original Oblivion combat.
So
though.
we've gone back and recorded new lines of dialogue. Each race represented in the game now sounds unique.
Can't stand the sight of those creatures.
We also made sure to keep in all of the quirkier dialogue.
I really like the way they say hello. Sometimes it's so random, and then they just, hi there.
Hi there.
But it's like so nice and creepy at the same time.
Stop! You violated the law. Stop! You violated the law.
Stop, criminal scum!
Stop right there, criminal scum.
Cheese for everyone.
Cheese for everyone! We are going to steal one of the Elder Scrolls from the Imperial Palace. You need to find the reading room.
Combat was never a strength of any TES game. Yeah, that's true.
You there. Do not speak to the priests. They're blindfolded. I've chosen you because you are the best. Good luck.
Stop! You violated the law. Your stolen goods are now
I
forfeit.
wonder if they did anything about
Pay
the
with
essential
your blood.
NPCs. There used to be a lot of essential NPCs in Oblivion where you couldn't kill them. It's kind of lame. I'm definitely going to get some of that Palace
As
Guard
games
armor
have
though.
developed over the past 20 years, players have come to expect a certain suite of tools and controls.
Like sprinting. Sprinting is an interesting one because it was such a big debate internally among our
$49.99.
teams. Some of us were absolute purists, but ultimately, we decided it's 2025 and people are going to want to sprint.
Is it even
In
worth
fact,
continuing the stream
all of
after
the
this? Is
character
everyone going to drop
locomotion
and play
has been
Oblivion?
Completely redone from scratch. Huge impact from the very beginning of the game.
Every single updated or new feature was implemented with the player in mind. It all comes down to what makes Oblivion, Oblivion. What are those features that just immediately come to mind for players when they think of the game?
The mini games are the mini games. Those are so iconic to Oblivion.
Great!
Y'all remember the Oblivion machine in
Like
the videos?
lockpicking.
Yeah, for sure.
You can put a fresh coat of paint on it, but you can't change it too much because it's part of the core experience.
Do you guys want me to go back
Whether
to game
you're
development or do you want to
returning
finish
to
watching
Cyrodiil
this?
or you're
Let
a
me know.
newcomer.
I'm okay
I'm
with
going to
either.
follow you and watch you and worship the ground you walk on.
You will instantly feel at home. It just feels better. We've modernized a lot, but it's
No,
still the same
D3L said it's
incredible
out right now
adventure
on Steam.
and the same carefully handcrafted world.
Well, it's about time. Do you know how long we've been waiting?
Yeah,
Oblivion is
that's
a
true.
core part
Help me.
of the
That's true.
story of Bethesda Game Studios. None of what we're surrounded by right now would be here if we hadn't made that game and if it hadn't been the success that it was. The effort that we put into it, the sort of the love that went into it.
I know
think
you
that comes
put effort
across on
into it.
screen.
I know.
To have worked on something that people care enough where you're in a position where you can remaster it, it's a privilege.
And now, to help introduce this game to a new generation of players, I feel
We want to thank you for joining us today. Oblivion has
For Oblivion.
been an incredible
We know.
experience. We were too excited to get it in your hands and didn't want to just show it off to you and then make you have to wait. The best part of my job is that I get to be the one to announce that the Oblivion remaster will be available today.
Just wishlisted it.
I was born
Remember my first playthrough.
87 years ago. But for all these years,
This will be fun. It'll be fun just for the nostalgia, but it does look good. I mean, it does look... I've tried to get back into Oblivion just by heavily modding it, and there's just... Yeah, it's just definitely aged too much, in my opinion. I have a hard time playing old games. I guess I'm spoiled.
These are the closing days of the Third Era. And the final hours.
That would have been a crazy announcement. Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, there's conspiracies too, like the leaks may have been intentional as part of like a shadow marketing campaign.
Beyond which no waking eye may see. This is only the beginning.
Already downloading it. I might have to do the same. I can wait. I can wait. We've got work to do.
Looks clear.
It's on Game Pass as well. Congrats to the Game Pass owners.
The time of cleansing draws nigh.
Coming darkness.
Are there like... There's Conjuration. Yeah, there's Conjuration in Oblivion. I'm going to do a Necromancer build. Get some skeleton minions. The mods. Oh, did they say anything about mods?
Find him. And close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
Nice. Available today. Sweet. Rated M though, so if you're under 17 years old, sorry, you're not allowed. Stay tuned for a special gameplay stream. Okay, we're not going to stay tuned for that, but that was cool. That was cool. I'm very much looking forward to playing that later this afternoon. Let's get the music back on though. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I mean, Oblivion, you know, I spent a lot of time. So the PS3 came out, I think it was it 2000? Did the PS3 come out in 2006? There was, the year that the PS3 came out, I did not get it. So I got it for the Christmas after it came out, and my parents got it for me, and then they also gave me Oblivion, and I remember just being blown away. How old was I? I was like in 6th or 7th grade in 2006, 2007, and I remember playing Oblivion at my friend's house and just being blown away that you could just go anywhere. It was my first experience of like an open world game, like a proper open world game. And I was just amazed at how you could just go in some guy's backyard and kill his sheep, and then the guards would come after you. Like, I just thought that was the most crazy thing of all time, or how you could break into people's houses and just steal stuff. I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is amazing. And so when I got Oblivion for Christmas, I remember hooking it up to my grandparents' TV and just playing that for a couple hours on, you know, the evening of Christmas Day. That was good times, good memories. And of course, then I put tons and tons and tons of hours into it after that. But yeah, good memories, good memories. Can't play it through it anymore. Yeah, the old games. Not on the UK store. Interesting. Looks awesome. By the way, never played an Elder Scrolls game. Yeah, I think, I mean, if you like high fantasy RPGs, you know, I would say that the thing about like Oblivion and the other Elder Scrolls games, and maybe with the exception of Morrowind, but is that they don't really do anything particularly well. Like, the combat is not that great, the story is not that great, but there's some like the way in which all the pieces work together and the world exploration and everything, there's just something really compelling about it. I don't know what it is, because like if you just objectively analyze each thing, like the graphics and the story and the combat, they're all kind of like mediocre, but for some reason they combine into like a wonderful game. I don't know how to describe it. Equally not particularly interested, especially if it isn't moddable. Yeah. I should get it. Yeah, if you like RPGs, most of my time is playing Morrowind. Yeah, that's one I didn't ever play. I wonder if they'll do Morrowind remaster next. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick 2-minute break, and then when I come back, we'll probably do another 45 minutes or an hour of this, just trying to figure out how to get this animation to look good and work. Maybe I want to try playing around with the morph shader. I got to figure out. Like these cards need to drop off the board and go onto here, but I don't want them to just... maybe I can just put them here and just like... I don't know. We'll figure something out for the animation, but yeah, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break, get a refill on my drink and all that. And when I come back, we'll work on the animation some more. Okay, I'm back. All right, back into the work here. All right, so we've got the hammer animation player. This looks pretty bad, but let's fix that. So this is gonna go up. Let's do a curve on the position here. I think this probably needs to be extended out a little bit. And then the rotation as well. That looks a little bit better. Probably a little bit too aggressive of a curve here. Same here. Actually, I think this maybe needs to be a little bit more of a curve. There we go. Rotation as well. Boom. That doesn't look terrible, actually. I think maybe this bounce up can be a little bit more exaggerated. Yeah, this bounce up. Where is this? Rotation. So this goes from -34 to -38. Let's do -40, and then here... I actually don't know. This is going from 90. Yeah, let's move this down a little bit. Might even turn this up. Yeah, maybe the rotation is a little bit too much. I think this bounce, this needs to have an easing curve that looks something like this. Yeah, that looks fine. Mask it with some particles. I actually think maybe this should move over a little bit too. So if I do -8 and then -5. So it kind of moves forward a little bit like that. It's got a little bit of forward momentum. Maybe... wonder if... maybe it should just be... maybe, let's do -10. Maybe this is still too pronounced. Actually, I think that's probably fine. We'll do like a camera shake or something right when it impacts and some particles as well. Maybe we could even flash the anvil. I don't know. I don't know. Time to buy it. I like D&D. Morrowind released back in 2002. Yeah, it's an old one. Everything can be modeled, just give me enough time. Or modded. 5390 for you. Should be built-in feature. If not, anti-cheat will ban you. Oh, modding. Yeah. My friends are hitting me up. Oh, I'm gonna need to buy that soon. Okay. So now the question of the cards. Hammer animation player. So the cards need to come down. How is this going to work? I don't know what to do here. Test card. Should I just bring the cards like down here or something? That's going to look weird, isn't it? Transform scale. Can I do something weird with like the scale? Like do it like this? I don't think that's going to work. That's probably going to look terrible. I would rather do like a morph shader. Is there something like that? Let me see. I'm going to go on Godot shaders here, and I'm just going to look for like a 2D morph. Search. Animation. Efficient 2D pixel outlines. We'll draw. Let's try to ask maybe the AI to do it. I wonder if the AI will be able to do it. Let's do this. Control-Shift-I will go into ask mode here. Create a Godot 4 shader that morphs from one texture into another given a uniform progress value in the range 0 to 1. Godot 4 canvas item shader. Huh? That's it? I'm gonna have to play around with this. Let's see. Doesn't this need an input texture? Did it add an input texture? Oh yeah. So I guess let's just try this. Sprite 2D. I'll just have the, let's just do, yeah, we'll just do the texture here. And we'll figure out a different texture to use. New shader material. New shader. We'll just make it a built-in shader for now. Hold on a second. Sorry, the cat is sick, so I don't, he made a weird sound. He made a weird sound. Get rid of this. Texture. Okay, so if I do this, shader parameters, let's have it morph into what? I guess we'll just do like a skeleton warrior. Oh, that is not correct. The shader needs to preserve the aspect ratio of each texture. I doubt this is going to work. Oops. Texture size. Oh. Invalid assignment of text to float. Oh, that's kind of lame. Can I do this? I doubt this is going to work. I very much doubt it. Oh yeah, that's already broken. Okay. That is not going the way that I thought it was going to go at all. Don't save any of that. It's fine. Okay. We're going to have to figure out a different visual for this. What do I want to do? I think... You know what I could do is maybe I'll just draw... Maybe I'll just draw a piece of ore and I'll just have the cards like shrink into it and then have the ore grow. I think that's going to be the easiest thing to do. So let me think about this. Let's put the reference image back on. Let's turn off the highlight. And let's just do like an ore here. And what I'll do is I'll create just like a chunk of ore. Probably needs to be bigger than that. Like this. Something like that. Maybe add little pieces coming out of it. Actually, I should probably use a different color for this. Yeah. So if I add little like chunks, like so. And then I create, I don't know. To figure out. Figure out what to do to make this look all right. Maybe I can kind of do this. I don't know. I'm just doodling. I'm just doodling. Something like that, perhaps. Oh, my cat is about to puke again. Hold on a second. All right, well, let me catch up with chat here. Linux says hi to anti-cheat. What if you put the cards you're combining on top of the anvil and add an item on the anvil when you select the cards? Food for thought. Yeah, anvil morphing into a character. What made you go with Godot over Game Maker Studio or other engines? Was it GD script? Is that what you're saying? No, I mean, I was working with Game Maker Studio prior to switching to Godot, which was many years ago now. And the thing about Game Maker Studio is that it just doesn't have the tools that I would expect from like a game engine. Like when I was using it, there was no built-in vector type. There was barely built-in collision detection. So Godot just has more features out of the box that made it easier for me to build the kind of games I wanted to make. I have functions and mechanics working, but I keep changing the layout and element styles because I just don't feel like clicking. Any tips on that? No, I think that's just part of the process. Yeah, I think it's just part of the process, unfortunately. But see. Yeah, I mean, sometimes adding like juice to the game can help too. So adding like visual flair and screen shake and flashy particles and stuff, that can help a lot too with the, because if you don't feel the game clicking, like a lot of people say to white box the game, but the problem with white boxing is it's like, it's hard to get excited about the game when everything's like really static and like there's nothing going on. Cause like a game is all about like the visual and audio experience plus the gameplay, right? If you just if you just distilled it down to just the gameplay loop with no compelling visuals and no sound effects, it can feel hard to like see the full vision of the game and get excited about it. So sometimes that can help too. But unfortunately, I wanted to continue working, but my cat is very sick and needs attention. So I'm gonna end the stream here. I wanted to get more done, but I just can't do that right now. I can't focus right now. So anyway, sorry for cutting the stream short, but it was nice hanging out and watching the Oblivion remaster reveal with you all, and we got some work done on the first half of the stream. So anyway, I gotta go babysit the cat and make sure he's okay. But please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways that you can support my work. You can purchase Gunforged on Steam, and you can also purchase one of my Udemy courses if you're interested. I'll be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m., assuming the cat is feeling better. So hopefully we'll have a more content-packed stream tomorrow. So anyway, Gunforged is fun, by the way. Thank you, J-Dubs. Appreciate that. Thank you, Christopher. All right, have a good day, everyone, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, bye-bye.